when you have the hammer, but I mean, when you got a couple sitting where you do right now, it's not the end of the world. So
Still a useful shot. It looks like PEI is still sitting too.
all right. I mean, I just got audible confirmation that our sound is working now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, we are here at the historic Granite Curling Club.
The historic Granite Curling Club.
Yeah, here in Winnipeg,
1880.
Manitoba. And we are here for the semifinal action of the Curling Club National Championships. Just general recap again, just in case we missed this details while we were working on our sound issues. This is the semifinal between Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island. Immediately next to them on the sheet over is the other semifinal between BC and Ontario. So whether you win or lose these games, you're going to play again at 3 o'clock. The winner plays for the gold medal, obviously, and the losers will play for the bronze. And then also, while these two games are going on, there are two more immediately next to them, and that is the women's side of the draw. So in those semifinals, we have Ontario versus Alberta and Quebec versus New Brunswick. So things were going pretty good for Prince Edward Island in this game, but then that one missed come around has really turned into what could be a steal for Newfoundland. They are sitting one right now.
They're currently sitting one, and they are guarded. But who knows?
Yeah, but exactly. Here comes Steve Bragg from the Noseworthy Rink out of St. John's, Newfoundland. Got to buy that guard. Very nice. Now let's see where that stops. And it's going to come right down. Right down onto the one in the back there. Okay. That settled in quite nicely for them. It's going to be very hard to get this out for Prince Edward Island.
Currently sitting 3. They've got backing on one, protection for the other.
Oh, they are sitting 3. You're right. I didn't realize that that one in the 8-foot was outcounting the other 2 reds behind them. So yeah, this is shaping up to be a pretty big opening end for Newfoundland. Sorry.
Big shot for PEI, looking for the double.
Yeah. So that's not exactly what they were hoping for, I understand, but their rock is at least still around. Might be able to do something with that. You're kind of at the whim of Newfoundland right now, unfortunately, if you're Prince Edward Island, but you can still hopefully manufacture something with that hammer. So
Newfoundland is currently sitting 2. So PEI was able to take one rock out, and they're now 3rd and 4th. So they've at least mitigated some of the damage.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't think that was exactly the shot that they were calling, but what they were looking at while the rock came down the ice, they managed to make something of it. So. Okay, so Mark Noseworthy with his first shot. Didn't see exactly what the call was, but I'm guessing that they're just going to try to keep piling him in there. If this ends up being a guard for them, that's just fine too. But oh, look at that move. That must have picked. That should not have been going that way. That's unfortunate. So there's the
There's a
The
wild
potential guard they got there, I guess.
There's a wild swing on that side of the ice.
You know, the ice has a lot of curl to it. I was just talking to someone today saying that in the curling trials, they have to make the ice so that there's no more than 4 feet of swing. However, here at the Granite Curling Club this week, man, at least the game that I saw yesterday, there was a good 7 feet of movement. So that shot, though, I don't think that they were anticipating that. I'm wondering if it grabs something about 2/3 of the way down to make it do that, but definitely left the door open for Prince Edward Island. Okay, Dennis Watts with his first stone of the first end. And while we have Dennis throwing, we'd like to send a special shout out to Regan and Jordan, who are at home cheering him on.
They've got some fans here too.
This one is hanging out there. You know, big sweep from the front end there, but I don't think that's going to work for him. No, flashed on that. That's unfortunate. Okay.
Touchy ice, throw it a little too hard and you go straight.
Yeah.
A little too light and you swing way over.
You're moving on that guard, you're right. I didn't think he had a whole lot of weight, so he might have had just a line issue there. Okay. Newfoundland skip Mark Noseworthy with his final shot of the first end. Just needs to get this in there. Again, you're just sort of protecting right now. It'd be nice to get 3 instead of 2, but more importantly, you just need to make this difficult for...
And there comes that curl. Just before the hog line, it really starts to curl. And
it's coming over. Okay, well, left them a shot. Definitely left them a shot. I think it's a pretty easy, all you got to do is get to the nose of that and you can gladly accept the force.
yeah, well, facing 3 of force isn't too bad.
No.
Over in our
feels
other
like a small victory when you get the force at that point.
Over in our other semifinal, BC and Ontario have finished their first end, blanking it.
Yeah, and actually continuing down the ice, it looks like the other games are finished the first end as well. So in the women's semifinal between Ontario and Alberta, Ontario is up 1-0, and in the semifinal between Quebec and New Brunswick, Quebec is up 1-0. So it's just up to Dennis Watts from the Cornwall Curling Club in PEI. If he can get this to curl right to the nose of that yellow rock, holding on to the button, should be an easy 1 point. They're going to hold that line just to make sure they don't have it roll away on them, and they got it. Nice. Okay, so good recovery, I'd say, from Prince Edward Island. Things got a little out of hand there for a bit, but they managed to get it back in order.
The force is with our teams at this moment.
The force is with us, yeah. They are one with the force, and the force is with them.
1 blank and 3 forces, so... Quick recap, the game we're at, PEI, Newfoundland. PEI with the hammer, got 1. Over in Rink C, BC and Ontario blanked. And over in the ladies, Quebec and New Brunswick. Quebec leads 1-0. Ontario 1, Alberta 0. They're all in the second end now on their third shot.
Absolutely. So while we have a little break in the action, we were working on some audio problems earlier on, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Sean. My co-host here is Bruce, and we have our lovely assistant Daisy helping us out today as well. We are here at the historic Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg, Manitoba for the Curling Club National Championships. Daisy has opted not to speak on the mic today. She's going to make sure we don't have any more technical issues, which is very nice of her. Thank you very much.
Very first curling event for.
Hey, welcome to curling, everyone. Welcome to Curling Daisy, and anyone else, if you're tuning in at home and you're new to the sport, we're going to do our best to help you along with the rules. Curling is fun for all ages, and you can really just get out and try it, but as you go along, you learn that there are a few rules that help the game be a little more exciting, and yeah, just be a little more exciting. The game is a lot of hitting rocks out of play. And so one of the rules that we're going to get into right away is just one of those things that we've developed over the years to make sure that not all the rocks just get hit out right away, because that is not fun. If you just throw a rock and then it gets hit out, you could just do that for the whole end and nothing happens. So Prince Edward Island, whose lead is Andrew McDougall, has just thrown a very nice guard. A little bit high, a little bit close to the center line, but because it is not in the rings and over the hog line, that is called inside the free guard zone. So for the first 5 rocks of each end, any rocks inside the free guard zone cannot be removed. And if they are removed, the shooting stone is instead removed and that rock is put back into place. So, not saying that they would want to do that, but Newfoundland is not allowed to remove that red stone in the free guard zone.
And a tweak to that rule was no ticking the guard.
Yes. So this rock coming up, it's going to curl too, but if any of those rocks in the free guard zone happen to be touching or on the line, the center line that runs down the middle of each sheet, it cannot be moved off of the line, because you're right, there used to be a tick, which I'll tell you as a lead, if you've ever put up a guard and had somebody tick it, it is one of the most infuriating things that can happen to you, especially when you work very hard on those guards like I do. But yeah, a tick was a very, very specialized shot, but at higher levels, it was in fact compromising the gameplay. So again, same sort of rule within the first few rocks of each end, you cannot remove those rocks from the line. So if you touch it and it does not move off of the line, that's okay. But if you move that rock and it comes off of the line, then it goes back where it was and your rock is removed. However, I think that's at the discretion of the team who did not throw the rock. So
Correct.
If they're happy with the way things are, they'll leave it. But I mean, when you have an opportunity to just burn one of your opponent's rocks, you'll usually take it. So
A nice come around from PEI there, sitting just off
this is
the,
very
off the
nice.
center line, but
I wonder if
Newfoundland
they-
can see a quarter of it.
I wonder if they knew that we were going to have this guard explanation, and they're like, here's some guards, guys. You can tell the folks at home exactly what they're looking at.
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
We're all on the same page, and that page is curling right now.
So, Newfoundland's lead, John Shepard, with his second, hoping to get by that guard, but not quite. Still a very nice opening from both leads. While we have a break here, I'll just have another shout out from John Shepard's friends and family. We wanted to say hi to Amanda and Jack, who we understand are cheering at home, maybe even watching online right now. So thank you, Amanda and Jack, if you're tuned in.
Thanks for your support. It means a lot to the players and to everybody involved, because it shows how big the community is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And especially after the pandemic, where we sat at home all quiet, we forgot that we do have a great curling community that participates, that watches, and supports.
And supports, yeah. Okay, that is a very, very nice shot.
Yep. PEI's going to remove it, and
From
now they're
Shane
buried with,
McDonald.
and they're biting a piece of the 12-foot.
Mm-hmm. So Newfoundland with the hammer. And I'm going to guess that for right now, they'll just ignore that. That's not really a pressing concern. Yeah, that red rock biting the 12 is counting for Prince Edward Island right now, but Newfoundland can make that go away with a nice draw of their own. This is going to come up light. I feel like we're having some issues judging weight out there right now. As many of us know, the ice changes in curling pretty quickly. Sometimes that first to second end change can be quite dramatic. you think you're used to it, but then all it needed was a little bit of downtime for the extra bodies to be out on the ice, and everyone throws all their practice rocks, and you do the first end, and suddenly the ice conditions are completely different. So. Okay, so this is Prince Edward Island's third, Eric Broderson. While his rock is coming down the ice, we're going to say hi and thank you to Ella, Lincoln, and Andrea.
Salute.
And Eric seems to have found the weight. This is going to pull up perfectly right onto the tee line, a little bit top four, nice and buried. He's got to be happy with that one.
Lovely draw. It's completely buried. It's protected. But with that curl on this ice.
And now that Newfoundland has seen it, you got to assume that this game being as important as it is, the pressure is on to recreate that exact shot and freeze right down on top of the one that Prince Edward Island just threw.
Newfoundland looking a bit light.
They are, aren't they?
And here comes that curl.
Brought the skipper out to do some sweeping, but it wasn't enough.
They're going to wreck on the biter.
Yeah. So the points are the rocks are counting for Prince Edward Island right now, setting themselves up for a steal, but all Newfoundland needs to do is just get in there. But this could be
shades of the first end.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of waves from the front end on this one. This is not the problem we've seen so far this end, but this rock looks like it's a little heavy. And honestly, at this point, the Newfoundland skip is going to get in there, and he's going to try to drag it back for as much as he can. Saw the Prince Edward Island sweeper getting in there too. He didn't want that to end up creating a little crotch in the 4-foot. If that rock had stopped a little bit earlier, then there might have been a spot for Newfoundland to sit in. So now they still have that draw. They're not out of it yet, that's for sure.
No, well, the PEI's got one in the back of the 8, biting the button, and up at the top of the house, they're biting the 12-foot. So they're currently sitting 3.
Okay, so this weight looks good. Still a little bit light, but I think they might be able to drag it past that guard. Oh, it is curling hard right now. No, he's come up light again. That's unfortunate.
Both teams working to find the right weight. It's a fine balance between that wicked curl and straight.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Second stone from Eric Broderson. He's looking to just sink another one right in there. Probably pulled a little bit of weight off his last one. Just looking to throw that same shot, though. Just how much did he take off? This line is indicating that he may have thrown the exact same
He's
rock
into the
that
pile.
Newfoundland just did, yeah. Okay, they're just going to say bring it over. Well, I will say this. You can't exactly see the whole bundle that's formed there from the top view. I can see the screen on that everyone out home is looking at, but there's no risk of a run back right now. You know, if you're Prince Edward Island, there's almost no risk of a run back. You'd have to kind of play a jump shot in pool almost to get at that rock.
There is no weight that would break that up.
No.
Here they're way out,
you need a
right at
machine.
the edge.
They're trying to get that curl, hey? No, they're going to just stand up and hope that it doesn't make it over. But it will. Now there is a very, very high guard blocking their path. quite the dilemma for the rink from Newfoundland at the moment. Prince Edward Island is just going to continue to, add to this wall. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rocks, if you include the ones in the 12-foot there, occupying the top half of this playing area. So,
And no one's tested the right side of the rink.
no.
It's
No.
they're playing. There's something about this side that they're trying to get comfortable with.
There is a lot of merit to playing what you know. So it's one thing to say, like, I can come down this side, why don't I come down this side? But once you've played down one side on that sheet for that end, it is a little more comfortable to play what you know.
And less frost.
And less frost, exactly. So every once in a while your hand is forced and you gotta go where no one's gone before. Boldly, as one would. But when you don't have to, you don't. Okay, so they just want to push this over. I don't think it's going to make it past the guard, but it could. It could. You could get... No, you can't. No. And that works, you know? When you have as many options as Prince Edward Island just did, that is certainly an option.
They do seem forced to use the other side and hope that that curl is there, because
they can use that other side to curl for like hold them to a steal of 1. But he has 2 rocks left. So I think the strategy right now, if I put my skipping hat on, which I very rarely wear, is that shot is the one you do with your last resort. While you are not on your last resort, you look at your other options.
They're looking to do something about that pile.
Right? That's one way to put it. You got to do something about that pile. I mean, we already said it, though. You're going to need, I think the weight call for a shot like this is laser beam. Something above peel.
It would be... They seem to be looking at raising that PEI stone to give them a shot at a come around and taking the force.
They just, because the thing is like, if they can clean something up, if they could just clean something up, then again they have that second or the last rock with the hammer, so they might find a hole then with this. But I mean, with the way things are lined up in that bundle, that again, our viewers at home, it's Steve Bragg from Newfoundland who's holding the broom right now. He's blocking that bundle, but there is a yellow stone that might be able to squirt in. There he goes. He should be through the port. Yeah, he's made it through the port. Okay. So that cuts the damage, like you said, Bruce.
But he's still got that PEI stone there. For our viewers who can't see, up right by the hog line, there's a PEI or a Newfoundland center guard, and they've got one up in the top left, and right in the middle is a PEI stone, right where you want the curl. So
these are very difficult angles to manage, and there's like 5 rocks all in a line that, in order for you to get the one to go, yeah, we'll have to see. Like, let's focus on Prince Edward Island's shot here first. It looks like with this, where he's holding the broom, I don't think he's trying to come through a port. He should just be throwing a guard, right? Yeah, so I think now is when PEI chooses to put a guard on the opposite side and block that pathway that we were saying is the last resort. Because it is it's a pretty easy pathway in order to hold them to 1. And these curlers are close enough, I'd say, to my level of curling that they might be familiar with what I am, which is going down by 2 in the second end ain't that bad, you know? Like,
No,
as long as you're not down by 5 or 6 after 3, it's
a 2 you can always recover from.
yeah.
Once you've given up 3 in an end, that's where you now have to change the rest of the game, and you now have to manage.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was saying to someone yesterday, sometimes we see these scores. I mean, gosh, there was even one in the curling trials yesterday where they're getting into double digits and stuff like that. It looks absurd, but it's kind of like what you just said is once you get down by a lot, your hand is forced. And some of the shots that you have to go for, you might not go for. You might play it a little safer when you're keeping things close. But sometimes that can lead to the opposite of what you want, right?
You've got a lot of rocks in the house, I should say. A lot of things can happen, and that's why you like it clean. Which is why we like the free guard zone.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Get the rocks in the house, make it
interesting. The rocks
interesting.
in play and make it interesting. Exactly, Bruce. Okay, so they're going to take a little bit of time to check this out. I'm just going to do a quick shout out to the sponsors. Thank you to Curling Canada and everybody who put this event on. It's really a pleasure as a member of the Granite to have such a awesome event come to our club. I want to send a special shout out to Johnny Scott and Kyle Deering and everybody from here at the Granite Curling Club. And we have a list of sponsors here that are down the side. If you could be here with us, you'd see that the Granite is absolutely transformed. They've got some really nice stands for people to sit on so they can be out on the ice level. And just in front of them, there is a list of sponsors. So we have the City of Winnipeg and Curl Manitoba, Asham, Winnipeg Tourism, Councillor Sherry Rollins, Manitoba Tourism, Manitoba Turkey, Turnbull Whitaker, Cambrian Credit Union, and we'll finish the other ones on a different shot. Because here it comes. Newfoundland is making a play. They're going to try to come through this port if they can get by that guard, which they have not, unfortunately.
And
so it's a 2. It's a 2. I mean, they were looking at 3. They were looking at a bad end, but I mean, I think we'll just stick with the opinion that I had earlier, which is that's not that bad. That's not that bad. The game is
down 1.
Young. Yep. Well, they're down 3.
Oh, they're down 3. Yeah, I'm looking at it backwards.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, so that sets us at 3-0 after 2. PEI leading Newfoundland in the other semifinal. In the second end, they did break the goose egg, so BC is up 1-0 over Ontario. And in the women's semifinals, they are both finished the second end, and both games are tied at 1. So Ontario, Alberta are tied at 1, and Quebec, New Brunswick are tied at 1. So very similar to our situation on the men's side. Both of those games are being played right now. The winners of those games will play each other at 3 o'clock in the gold medal game, and the losers of those games will play each other at 3 o'clock in the bronze medal game. So if you are in Winnipeg and want to come down and watch that, I think admission is $5 for a draw. So at this point in the event, that's the last and only draw. So it'll cost you $5 to get in. Come down and enjoy some curling.
Very intense discussion off to the side amongst the Newfoundland team.
Yeah, did they have a little team meeting there?
They did.
Okay. It's a good idea.
There's something of concern other than the score.
Yeah. Well, this game is important. You came all this way, and you have a chance to make it to the final. But like I said, the game is young. So from my experience, quite often after an end like that, there's a lot of things that are worthy of critique, but you don't want to focus too much on that. You really have to have a bit of a mind like a goldfish in curling and just keep swimming.
Move on.
Move on to the next end. Yeah, move on to the next rock when something goes wrong. Even when that rock has been released from your hand and you're like, oh, that's bad. It's like, well, you got to deal with it, you know?
You gotta shake it off and just move on, and that's why they're here, because they can.
Yes. So, unlike our last end, Prince Edward Island has put one right in the rings. They're feeling confident with their 3-0 lead that they don't need to put up a guard right now. And as you can see, Newfoundland certainly has the option or opportunity to hit that rock out, but they have a different focus. Their game plan is to put up a guard and get themselves something protected. So the Prince Edward Island skip, Dennis Watts, has called for another one in the rings, although no, they're calling an audible. No, they're going to go for it. Okay. So again, not necessarily a guard. I think where he tapped his broom, they're looking for this maybe even in the 8-foot. They just want it to serve as a guard, essentially, in front of the one they've already got in there. Okay. And while Shane McDougall... Yeah. Sorry, not Shane McDougall. It's Andrew McDougall and Shane McDonald. So Shane McDougall, a very nice shot from the lead from Prince Edward Island. And we still have a list of shout-outs to go through. So on behalf of Andrew McDougall, Lachlan, Jenica, Alexander, and Emmy are watching at home. So thank you very much to Lachlan, Jenica, Alexander, and Emmy for your support. Okay, Newfoundland lead John Shepard, on behalf of Mark Noseworthy, has opted for the double corner guard. As someone who does not play skip, I'm never quite sure where the strategy comes from as to whether you want to do this or whether you want to do that. I was just saying to a friend of mine that curling is a lot like chess. There's even one of my favorite YouTube channels is Chess on Ice. So these lead stones are often just like opening moves in chess. You know, there's a number of different things you can do to start the end, and whether you want to put one in the rings and one in front of it or a guard on either side, that just indicates, you know, what the game plan is, and you can work with it either way.
It sets up the rest of the end.
Yeah.
Whether you've got the guards or, well, in this case, PEI, throwing one right to the back of the 8, is thinking about using it as backing. That way they can always come in.
There you go.
And now they put their own guard, if you will, up at the top of the house.
Yeah, that's a very nice opening from Prince Edward Island. They obviously, Newfoundland was just doing their own thing, so in the meantime, Prince Edward Island has set a line of 3.
And we have our first cowbell in the house.
Yeah, the cows are coming home, everybody. Okay. Andrew Manuel with his first stone for Newfoundland, and he has thrown almost, looks exactly like what the skip called for. He wanted it to come down. I think they were hoping that it would stop there, but he does have the backing he can rest on, so that'll help them out. That's
close enough. He's got the backing, and he's hidden.
So Prince Edward Island still counting 1, but that rock should come in handy for Newfoundland later on when they're looking to hopefully get a couple points here. So now it is Shane McDonald. Pardon me. Shane McDonald out of the Cornwall Curling Club in Cornwall, PEI. And he would like to say hi to Heather and Willow and Carla. Thank you very much, Heather, Willow, and Carla. And this looks distinctly like the shot we just saw, which is working really well for him. I think they need it to move. Oh, they're going to get the curl they want. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. What a nice shot from
Right
Shane
on top.
McDonald. Well done.
You were likening curling to chess.
Mm-hmm.
And people always look at me funny when I say this, but I'll say it's a lot like baseball.
Ooh, like baseball.
And very strategic. You've got a number of ends. It's all about placement, all about the weight.
Very nice, yeah. I mean, I think you get in a lot of trouble if the rock leaves the playing area in curling. But I mean, besides that, I see the comparison. Yeah, I was just explaining the extra end as very similar to an extra inning the other day. However, it's not uncommon to go to many extra innings in baseball. But as I was saying to my friend, it's like if you're going to even like an extra end in curling, something has gone wrong. Like someone should have scored in that 11th end. You know?
Very rare to go to a 12th end.
Very
Definitely
rare,
there
very
aren't
rare.
15 ends.
Yeah, not like the Jays and the Dodgers. How many innings was
15,
that?
it was 15.
15, wow. Like, congratulations to everybody who had to spend a few $1,000s on ball tickets because you got your money's worth on that game. Okay, that's a nice placement for that one. Still, and they've got 2 biting the 4 already. So now they've placed a 3rd rock in that area. Now it becomes very hard for Newfoundland to create a scenario where the one they've got in there is even going to be counting. But there's still plenty of end left, so at this point, you just want to get on the board. You're not going to blank this end, so this looks a touch heavy. Yeah, and it made no contact. It's going to sail right through the back. That's unfortunate. And yeah, so if you're Prince Edward Island, you just start guarding this up. You've already stole 2. Another steal really sets the tone.
Yeah.
You know?
It changes the game completely to a major catch-up because you've only got 7 ends, or you've only got 4 hammers to try and make up those 4 points. That's keeping them to 1 per end and taking 2 or 3
Yeah,
on every
yep,
one.
that's
So
the goal. All right, so major shout out to Dennis Watts for coming out to help his front end sweep that rock. As a lead, I always like to give the credit where it's due. When I see the skip sweeping, that's a big deal.
A chief always makes sure
Yeah.
that his officers have backup.
All right, Steve Bragg from the St. John's Curling Club in St. John's, Newfoundland. Looking to just squeeze through that hole, and he's got it. We're happy with that,
Does
but I
he
think
have-
they need to keep sweeping. I was going to say, you don't want to wreck on the other one now. There you go. Very nice shot. Very nice shot.
Lovely.
So that's got to be a sigh of relief all around for Newfoundland right now. This was looking like the
Dire.
wheels. Yeah, dire. Like I was going to say, like the wheels were coming off. Not that they were a little wobbly, but they were in fact coming off. So they have a real shot now. Get themselves back in the game.
Dennis Watts with his final stone. I believe it's his final stone.
No, first
No,
zone.
First stone.
Yeah.
Losing my focus trying to watch 4 great matches all at once.
Okay, this is going to make it through the hole. So
Yeah, following that same line, it looks like
Yeah.
everybody's got their weight right now.
this needs to move for them. The weight is there, but it was a touch heavy. So I'm not sure. That might have been worked out in their favor as far as where it moved it. No? Okay, so Prince Edward Island. No, Newfoundland. Newfoundland appears to be counting
Newfoundland
1.
seems to be sitting 1.
Yeah. So this leaves some opportunities for them. Again,
Again,
with Hammer.
the strategy changes so quickly. We were talking about this is that we're going to have to mitigate the damage, and now the possibility, 2 stones later, the possibility of coming away with a double is still here. I seems to be thinking about taking out Watt's last stone and burying it to lie 2.
Yeah, I mean, my brain is still used to the ice conditions from yesterday, so I don't think it's moving as much as it was yesterday. But with the way he's got his broom there, I think they're playing the draw. But they have that one as backing, like if they're going to be outside. Yeah, so he's not throwing a lot of weight at this. I think he just wants to have it come in. Mark Noseworthy with his first shot of the third end. Calling his sweepers on. They're going to need that help, I think.
It's curling.
Yeah. It's curling hard, and they're just going to need to get it counting. If they can get that in the rings and counting. Oh, they did just touch. They just touched that one in the 8-foot there. So it's, that's like the 4th rock. 4th, it's probably out counting their other one in the 8-foot, but it's certainly not in there, and they really wanted to get that in. The benefit of that, though, missing it that way, is that it can still be promoted, and it's at least blocking Newfoundland from getting in right now, or Prince Edward Island, sorry.
And given the way you have to curl to get through that port, even you're not going to get a double, you're not going to take it out. All you can do is shake things up.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the overhead view, though, that like at least if I'm Newfoundland right now, I can see that I don't need to get to the nose of it to promote it, and it just needs to get in like full 4. If it's full 4, then you're out counting the red that's in the 4-foot. The same way that they're yellow, at least to my eyes, it looks like the yellow is already out counting. And then, yeah, I guess if you're Prince Edward Island, you just want to get in there and clog that whole idea up. And they are not going to make it past this guard, it looks like, but that's fine as long as it doesn't roll too far. And it did. Did it? It's hard to see from down here, but I think they might have room to do this again.
The opportunity exists for Newfoundland to make this a game again.
Yeah, because now they don't even need to do the promoting. With that guard missing, they can just throw kind of quiet weight at this and get to the nose of it. And there's your 2. So we'll see Mark Noseworthy with a real shot at redemption here. Second end got away from him, and the third end wasn't really going his way, but this moment right here could change that story altogether.
Can he get it by that guard?
Gonna need some curl now. Gonna need a lot of curl. He's gonna take it out, and that's gonna save them the point. So they'll take it.
Didn't curl quite enough for the 2, but at this, like you say, at this point he'll take it. And right now, over on the other rink, 2-1 Ontario over BC. Over on the ladies' side, 3-1 Ontario leading Alberta, and Newfoundland, Quebec all tied up, all after 3.
Thank you, Bruce. And while we're in this break, I'll just go through the rest of the sponsors that we had here along the side. I think I left off at Cambrium Credit Union. So it's Maxio Winnipeg. Thank you to Boston Pizza, MLT Aikens, Curling Canada again. Good Food for Life, GFL.
GFL is the recycling.
Yeah. No, that's
Is
right.
it Good Food for Life?
No, that's a different one. That's
It
where-
is.
Yeah. So GFL Recycling, thank you very much. Johnston Group, Onside Restoration, and Torque Brewing.
Torque makes some fine beers.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they have a couple on tap here, and I think they even had someone come down yesterday for testing or tasting. Okay, right back in it. Starting the fourth end, Prince Edward Island up 3-1. Newfoundland grabbed that 1 point last end, so their lead, John Shepard, with a very, very well placed center line guard. Man, I love to see that.
Yeah, you would.
I do. I'm not going to get into why I love it so much, but it's just a beauty shot. No, wait, I am going to get into it because
Your
sometimes,
lead.
sometimes I got to say, you're so close to that center line, and your sweepers are just worried about weight, and they're like, okay, it's good, but they got to sweep it. They got to keep sweeping it to hold that line so that you can end up on the line. So I love seeing that rock finish right on the line.
It's a more exacting guard than a corner guard. You got
Yeah.
a little bit of leeway, but to put it on the line, it shows that accuracy.
Yeah, now that it makes that difference, now that it's like it cannot be touched and moved around when you have it even just touching the line, it does change that for a lead where you're like, hey, let's give it that extra bit of protection.
And another wonderful shot, follow up by Andrew McDougall there.
Yeah, that's
Puts
a
it
really nice
right
response.
behind. Although now they're using the right side of the rink. That one's opened up. But if he goes back to the left side, he's got the curl and he can see just an eighth of the rock, so he'd be able to peel it out if he wanted.
Well, it looks like Newfoundland is coming down that side too, Bruce. We'll see. I think his plan is to just come to it. I don't think he wants to come behind it. I think he'd like to settle on top. Looks a little light, but they're going to try to get it past their guard, and they won't.
It's well protected now.
Mm-hmm. And if you're Newfoundland, you don't have the hammer, so creating a little bit of havoc in the middle of the ice right there is fine. That's going to cost Prince Edward Island a headache later on. Okay. Andrew McDougall with his second shot. Way out on the boards here. They're way outside, so and it is bending very nicely for him. They're going to carry this as far as they can, yep, and Dennis Watts is going to come out to help them. That has a real nice finish on it. Wow.
Another beautiful shot from
right
Andrew
to
McDougall.
the top four. That
Buried it.
That rock halfway down the ice was, I'm going to say, less than a foot away from the sideboards.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It almost touched. And here it is sitting just to the left of the tee line.
That was a really nice judge, a line judge from the skipper. Haven't seen a whole lot down that side, so. I mean, maybe they saw some of it in practice. We didn't really see what they got to see in practice, but Newfoundland has opted to deal with that headache on their own, and quite well done, actually.
Both the guards are out, 3 in the house. PEI sitting 2, but very vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're ripe for the picking. taking their time, making sure they make the right call here. Prince Edward Island would like to keep the pressure on, obviously, so Dennis Watts is going to treat this very carefully. Looking to just have this come to the wings here. I think based on where he's holding his broom, they'd like it to be T-line. Make that double impossible. I don't think it's going to curl as much as they can, but they really got to drag that. Okay, Mark Noseworthy has opted to just mess this all up. Honestly, I can't blame him. Got one of them to go, and his will hold on. Oh, the lovely curl.
That was a wonderful spin.
I'll say it again. You know someone is watching at home and hoping and praying for you when something good like that happens. So
went from a biter to a counter.
Yeah. Amanda and Jack, we're going to say that's on you. Thank you very much. Shane McDonald's second rock. Looks like he's trying to freeze. Just come to that one. But it might be heavy. It might be heavy.
A little heavy.
Stay. Still sitting in the 12, but that definitely wasn't where they wanted that one to end up. So Newfoundland looking at options. Calling for the draw. I'm going to say that they'd like to freeze onto that red rock in the 4-foot. Probably a few decent plan Bs if they come up, but that would be the one. Oh, that's moving in a hurry. They got to actually sweep this, get by the yellow one now. I think that worked out. That's got a lot more curl than you would have thought, I bet. But that's great. The angle for that too. Yeah. If you're Prince Edward Island right now, you're worried about that. That's for sure. So looks like he's calling the raise. No,
looking for the double.
I don't know what is the way that he indicated the roll. I think they're trying to. Yeah, this needs to move if it's going to make contact with a yellow rock. That's for sure. Have to push that over, guys. Push it. Yep, and he got it. Oh, nice shot. What a shot. That was clutch.
That was a pick and a half.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if it was going to make it over in time. That was great.
Not only did he pick that out of there, he rolled and now is sitting 3.
Yeah. Yeah, the angle turned out to be perfect. So Prince Edward Island sitting 3 with the hammer right now, but Newfoundland kind of, I'm not going to say in control of this end, but they're not. They're the call at this point. There's still a call and response situation. So if they can get this one back in there and just force them to do it again, I mean, that's a beautiful shot again. That's well done. They got even more. It's even more buried than the last one. So absolutely, that's what you're looking for from who's that? Steve Bragg. It's a very nice shot. Yeah. So now you're I saw the shrug there.
It took a couple ends, but they've found their stride and they've tamed the ice. Everything's going both ways. You can see the confusion is gone from the Newfoundland team. They're in control of the ice and their shots, but they've got a long way to come back.
Here they go. Here they go. He thinks he can make it. He just needs to come across that line, and he's got it. Look at this. Another great shot. That was amazing. That was even more buried than the last one. Yeah, and they're happy with that. High fives all around.
That was a job well done.
Yeah.
And same result. They're now lying 4.
And a nice bit of recognition from his opponent there, too. Saw the quick nod from his opponent. It's just a part of curling. Got to respect those nice shots when they happen to you as opposed to for you.
It is a gentle person's game.
It is, yeah.
You don't have referees. You have the statisticians and those that operate the expensive measuring equipment. You don't need somebody reffing. It's a very honest game. I love that even in international when things are high stakes. Oh yeah, I burnt it. Oh yeah, no, like the honesty is there. It's very much in the sporting sense.
Yeah. It's
Good
the spirit of
sportsmanship.
competition. Okay, so Newfoundland is right back at it, not to be deterred. They've made this shot twice already, so what better time than again to do it?
Don't think you can pick this one.
Yeah, man, Bruce, that's what I thought about the last two, so I bet he will give it a shot. I mean, that's so flat. I don't even know what you call it, flat, but I mean, like, such a wide angle. So if you're Newfoundland, you have to be pretty proud of yourself right now. It's a big end. Like, this is a turning point, this end, to see which way this game is going to go. And like Prince Edward Island has obviously answered back with some amazing shots, but Newfoundland has kept the pressure on. They've definitely made it a game right now, and they're forcing Prince Edward Island to make those shots. So keeping your opponent in a situation where they have to make difficult shots increases the possibility that they make an error.
Shane McDonald came up clutch with those 2 picks.
Yeah. And then, we're going to see right now. Dennis Watts can do it as well. There's so much room for error on this shot, but he's throwing a little bit more weight than the last 2, so. And it's going to make contact with the top one, so that's unfortunate.
Removes one of his own and moves the top guard, so he's still lying 1, but very vulnerable.
Yeah, if you're Newfoundland, again, that's exactly what you've been hoping for these last 3 shots, is that, you're going to keep making him make that difficult shot, and then eventually he can't make it. So you've got 1 rock each left, right? Yeah, 1 rock each.
They're weighing the option there. Can they take out the PEI stone on the button and get over?
So he's looking at the in-off. I get that.
Yeah.
However, you run a real risk of bumping your own over. Oh, yeah, see? Or you can go the other way. You could hit off of yours, and that's safer, actually, I think. I think even just a nose hit, though, a nose hit leaves you sitting on top of your own, which means that he cannot, like, just hit yours out.
No.
Right? He can't hit yours out if you nose hit. But there are both of those options for the double, which is incredible to think that a few rocks ago we were looking at 2 for red, 3 for red, 4 for red, and now it's like...
And like baseball, it's a game of inches. Less so.
It is, yeah.
down at ice level, you'll hear them say, "Oh, I was a quarter inch out." You're throwing a 30-pound chunk of granite 100 feet, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
off a quarter inch."
When you're like, well, maybe you want a quarter of the rock or 2/3 of the rock or maybe 7/16 of the rock. It all matters, though. It's all geometry. So there's the nose hit I asked for. Yeah. I think that is a satisfactory shot, if you ask me.
That'll force Dennis Watts to take the draw. I don't. They're
He's
looking at taking them out.
He's looking at the
but
corner because again, now because there's enough separation there. Not much separation, but that's more than enough separation to make them both go.
And given how straight it goes with the weight, you give it a good heft. You don't have to worry about this big curl that we have.
Yeah,
You catch
because this could be a double for 3 if you're Prince Edward Island.
You catch a quarter of it, you'll take the backing right out, and hopefully spin the other one.
Yeah, I'd
out
expect
of the
some
fort.
up weight here. I'm going to say normal up. Don't need peel, that's for sure, but probably want to make the top rock slide far enough to the side, even if you hit like 2/3 instead of half. You know, you want to make sure it gets out of that 8 foot.
And again, as the strategy changes, I mean, even if he gives him a steal of 1, it's a risk he can take with the potential of getting 3.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. He's holding that line. Sweeper's holding the line. It is curling a bit too much, though. No, he got it. He got it. So that's a 1. It looks like 1. They were both looking at whether or not they could sweep that rock out. You could see, but it is not behind the tee line, so you are not allowed to sweep your opponent's rocks when they're above the tee line. So they had to just hope that one would squeeze its way out of the 8 foot, but it did not. So we have 1 point for Prince Edward Island, and that's going to put them up 4-1 after 4, and we'll take a little break to clean the ice. In our other semifinal, right next door, it is now the 5th end, and BC, after scoring 4 in the 4th end, is leading Ontario 5-2. So they have taken a lead in that game and are just about to start the 5th end. Both of the women's semifinals have already completed the 4th and had their break, and they're well into their 5th end. So there have been 2 blanks in a row in the Quebec-New Brunswick game. So it is still tied at 1 in the 5th end. And in the Ontario-Alberta game, it looks like there was a blank in 4 as well. So it is 3-1 for Ontario in the 5th end right now. All right, so we will take a little break and be right back.
How you doing, Poops? The target trees, I assume, elm and all of them, regardless.
We do some traps for Emerald Ash Borer,
Right.
and I think the province does their own for Dutch elm disease, but they have us kind of take care of the placement and monitoring of their traps for Emerald Ash Borer. All right, we are back. The action has commenced, and it looks like Prince Edward Island has just sunk one down into the 4 foot. Again, they're looking at a 3-point lead, so they're not too worried about the guards. But Newfoundland is. So Newfoundland puts up a corner guard, and I'm going to say that Prince Edward Island is probably just looking to put this one into the top of the 12, maybe half and half with the 8.
PEI puts up a center guard just off the tee line.
Okay, that is gonna wreck on the guard in front, and because that guard was a center line guard, the shooting stone is removed and the guard is replaced. So that's unfortunate for Newfoundland. Would have really liked to have that one in play right behind it. And that's going to set up Prince Edward Island to make this a pretty difficult end for them. Okay. Sweepers working on that pretty hard. Have they got it by? Yes, they did. There it is. That's going to settle in into the 8-foot. I'm going to say right where Newfoundland would have liked their rock to end up, unfortunately. So yeah, time to rip the front, as we say. None of that is helping Newfoundland. They're going to need to score some points later, so now is the time where if you find yourself asking whether or not you should peel the guards, the answer is yes. Yes, you should. Okay. And that'll still be there. Don't think it's biting the rings at all, but held on to the shooter.
And one sunshine breakfast procured for our assistant Daisy.
Excellent.
And that's the beauty of curling. The bar's always open and the kitchen's always open. It's a community, like.
It is, and I mean, for those who haven't been to the Granite Curling Club, the food is spectacular here.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the service is wonderful too. So if all you're here for is a drink or two, you know, they got you covered.
Yeah. And again, like the food is great. Right now, it's a Bonspiel, so it's quite busy. They're doing, of course, your typical bacon, eggs, and toast.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How do you not like that?
Special shout out to Ernie and Ray. Thank you guys very much for all the good work that you do here. Okay, Andrew Manuel with his second stone of the fifth end. Looking to have that come over just a little bit, and gets one, gets two. Oh man, there was a version of reality there where he just threw a triple, but I think he's going to be happy with that outcome. That's great.
Cleaned the house. PEI sitting one.
PEI third, Eric Broderson with his first at the end.
He's going to use that corner guard to bury himself at the back of the 8.
Yeah. Mark Noseworthy steps in to give it a few extra brush strokes. Wants to save himself a bit of room because he would like to also use that guard, it would seem.
A little too much weight, so it's in the 12, biting the 8, which is great backing for Bragg. And that looks like the shot that they're taking.
Yeah, they just watched that come down there. As long as he gets the weight right, they can use that same line, and it looks like it's out. So they have stepped back from this one entirely. They're not seeing what they like. And there's Dennis Watts to help it through. So they are going to make contact, but yeah.
Not enough curl on that one.
No. Prince Edward Island would just like to see that rock go away. It's not counting, but they think they can make a nice hit and roll out of it.
Sitting there at the back in the 12, it complicates any sort of takeout that you want. And there they go, removing it.
Yeah. So, not a lot of roll, but I think the roll was secondary to what you needed to get there, which is to just make it go away. And it did. Okay, so Newfoundland, based on the presentation of the players, I'd say they are considering this. They want to make sure they get it right. Skip is thinking that we can do a hit and roll behind cover. Like firm, not necessarily control, but a little more than control. That's what he wanted there.
Some good weight from Bragg.
Yeah. Holding the line, but... And he makes the double. He doesn't get the roll that he wanted, but that double is a good place to start. So again, Prince Edward Island just needs to make sure this goes away. I'm thinking if you're PEI right now, a force feels really good. Don't really need to play for the steal, but a force followed by a deuce of your own could be almost the ball game.
If you can't get the deuce, Noseworthy's going to have to change his strategy in the next end and start taking greater risks.
Well, yeah. Yep. And away it goes.
Nose hit gives Newfoundland the opportunity to hit and roll undercover.
Yeah, you can finish the rest of that roll now. I mean, there is, based on the overhead here, he's got a good opportunity to roll undercover and still be shot rock. It's got to be a perfect kind of, it has to bite the 8 foot. Yeah, it just has to be biting the 8 foot.
Needs to curl.
Sweeping for curl, trying to get that across the face, and it's not going to make it. That's too bad. In that case, the roll was fairly important, unlike a shot a few stones ago from Prince Edward Island. Newfoundland really needed that roll to get that rock under cover.
Now Watts takes us out, and there's no chance for 2. The best Newfoundland could hope for would then be the force.
Yeah.
The women are into the 6th.
Yeah, those games are moving along quite nicely, hey?
3-1 Quebec over New Brunswick, and Ontario 3-2 over Ontario. Alberta. Thank you.
Okay, Dennis Watts makes contact, rolls away. That's exactly what he wanted to do. Mark Noseworthy has another shot at this now, so he's going to take his single point. Right, we're on the final stone. Yes, we are. Okay. So I can't remember exactly, but I think this sheet has caught up and passed sheet C, because they are still
They're still in the
yeah,
fifth.
they still got three rocks to go in the BC Ontario semifinal. Noseworthy's final shot of the end should be an easy takeout for a single point. And in the sheet to our right, Ontario has hammer. They're down 5-2, and their skip is about to throw his first stone. Looks like they're counting 1. Looks like they're counting 3. And this is a big deal. This would be one of those shots where you want to make sure it is perfect. So when you're down 3 and you're counting 3 halfway through the game, you'd really like to score some points. So just while John Shepard is getting set up, I'll follow this rock in the BC Ontario game down the ice. They're looking to have it stop, but the sweepers are standing back and they're watching it go just a bit too far. So it's still biting the 8. I think it still counts as the 4th stone, but everything is wide open right now for Ontario, or BC, and the game on sheet C. So after taking their single point, Newfoundland is looking for a guard. Probably like to see this one end up touching the line, and it does.
Beautiful placement.
Mm-hmm.
Nice center guard.
So Andrew McDougall from the Cornwall Curling Club in Cornwall, PEI, with his first stone of the 6th end. He's been pretty clutch on these ones, answering back with exactly what his skip asks him for. They're a little worried about the weight on this one, though, so Dennis Watts hops out to help out his sweepers. Still got some momentum. I don't know if they're going to carry this to the rings, but okay.
Didn't quite have the sweeping.
Mark Noseworthy is smelling the blood in the water. He wants to get something here. He wants to get back in this game. Maybe try to steal some points this end. All right, not the result they were hoping for. A little light, a little tight, so that's just going to sit on top of his first guard.
After the perfect weight for the guard, the next two from Newfoundland and PEI, they've had a little bit of weight problem.
Well, half the rink was just busy looking at the ice surface that rock just came across. So again, I think they're wondering if that picked somewhere. Everyone looked a little incredulous when it went the way that it did, just over the hog line. So that's unfortunate, but that is part of the game. So this has some better weight, but depending on the finish, it is going to curl nicely for him at the end, and it should be nice and buried. There we go. A touch too far. A touch. Just a touch.
Just back of the tee line.
Okay. Andrew Manuel with his first stone of the 5th end. Based on that reaction, I think the weight should be good. Sweepers are off and on. They're kind of happy with it, but skipper's leaving it to them. They're going to make sure. They want to make sure it gets here. They're going to finish that. There you go, guys. Okay. No harm, no foul. I think he was calling for a tighter freeze than that, but you're still undercover, and even with that angle over there, you can use that red as backing. So it's a good start.
Using the same line, PEI is coming down here again. They're going to try and bury it.
And just an update from the other semifinal. Ontario did manage to score 3 in that end to tie it up. So heading into the 6th, it is 5-5 BC Ontario. And this one is going to make contact. That's a nice shot. That's a nice result. I'm not sure if it's exactly what they called, but you can be happy with those results if you're Prince Edward Island.
PEI lying first and third. Noseworthy just called for the pick?
Wasn't sure. I actually had my eyes on the other sheets.
I think he did.
Is he hoping to just nudge his in? I think they've got the right weight here. They're getting the movement that they want. It's going to come over to the nose, though. I think if they wanted to push it in. That's an interesting shot. I mean, just to get a second rock in there. It's hard to tell what they really wanted out of it because I didn't see them do much of a line call with the sweepers. So,
and with such a large late curl, you don't really know what the strategy is until the last minute. But Dennis Watts looks like he's just trying to clean things up here. I don't think he's concerned about.
He's got another draw coming down here. I'm going to say this might be one of those things where you want to set up your own angle so that the other team doesn't have the opportunity, to play like an outside angle in. But it's over curled on him, I think. They would have liked to have that on the Yellowstone because now Noseworthy is able to move that whichever way he wants. So he's going to try to slash that in, catch the red, and sit 2.
Yeah.
A steal of 2 right now would be legendary for Newfoundland, that's for sure. Getting the call from the sweepers on this rock that it's a little heavy. Doesn't look super heavy, though. I can see it starting to move, so they're going to sweep it for curl. Get the directional sweeping going. There it is. And that should be okay. He's going to get shot rock out of that at least, I think. Nice sweeping at the end. Make sure that rock gets over.
And there, Watts calling for the raise. He's going to remove it.
So he's got to make it by these guards, and then he's going to make contact with his own. But just looking at the line as it comes down here, I think he's hit the top.
He's going to crash on the guards.
Which isn't all that bad. These are the, an unfortunate curl on that second Yellowstone. I'll just say it again. I don't think that's unfortunate. You want to get the guard out of the way, you get the guard out of the way. So, however, it would appear that the Noseworthy rink out of St. John's, Newfoundland, feels that this is a moment that they can capitalize on. Already sitting 1, and they've seen this line now.
Oh, that's light.
It is light. I think they just called it picked. There's no way that rock was supposed to do what it just did. Yeah. Sweepers are apologetic. They felt that they had to go so far out in order to get the curl that so Prince Edward Island has a chance here to try this shot again, and they get by one guard.
They're going to
and
wreck
they
on their
can't
own.
get by the other one. I mean, even the first time that they were throwing that shot, it just seemed like a real paper-thin line that you would have to follow in order to get down there. But they've thrown it twice. They've moved those guards out of the way. Hey, maybe you can do it again, you know? Like,
Newfoundland is only lying one, and now you've moved two of the guards out of the way.
yeah.
So you've got a pretty open shot. The question is, what is Noseworthy going to do?
Well, I think he's going to guard now. He's going to just have that go back, because now that he's moved those out, it seems like you could make this shot. So based on where Steve Bragg has got his broom sitting, I'd say he's looking for a guard, maybe biting the 12, something like that, just to make that run back that Dennis Watts will be shooting at a little bit more difficult.
You wouldn't be thinking about trying to steal the double at this point? You like the conservative play?
If I'm Newfoundland right now and I'm looking at stealing a point, I'd play conservative. I don't see the double that you would want to try. Okay, so a nice high guard even. Yeah. Anything just to cut that line. That's great. Okay, so Prince Edward Island, based on the broom swinging around there, are thinking about run backs. Throwing one back on the pile.
That's not a very wide board.
No, and he's opted for the longest one. It's not his rock, but the stone that was just thrown seems to be the one that he wants to try to get back. It's a just off nose kind of hit, as long as he can squeeze it by the center line guard.
It's good. Yeah,
He should still make contact on those two rocks that he's been shooting at for the last few stones.
As long as he doesn't wreck on the guard, pretty much any shot he makes here will serve him well.
I agree.
But oh, those guards.
Yes. Yeah. Line looks good. They got the sweeper on it, trying to hold it as close as they can. And it's not going to connect with the red ones, but it will take out that second yellow rock. Game of inches,
Yep.
right?
It's
You move that rock, the shooter stone, if that connects with the guard, like an inch or two to our right, the thrower's left, and that's perfect. He would have made it perfect. But so yeah, I mean, times like this when you're Newfoundland, you just start telling yourself, how do I not mess this up? What do I do that will be good, but what do I do that will not be bad is a better question.
He could make things very difficult for Dennis Watts.
Yes, he can. Although honestly, I'm not totally sure what you do in this situation.
It looks like they're aiming for the port between the two guards. Oh, not anymore.
And that's a lot of weight.
Oh,
Well, that's what you do right there.
Beautiful.
All right. An in-off on your own.
the entire rink reacts to
and
that.
another quick check of the placement by Bragg and confirmation that they are looking for a steal of two. Yeah, the crowd went wild for that one. That was the shot of the game so far, I think.
Without a doubt, that was the shot of the game so far. Sorry, Shane McDonald, and all of your clutch come-arounds and picks, but
Yeah, that was when he needed it most. That's so Dennis Watts with I guess a shot through that port for the draw into the 4-foot. I mean, it is there. I feel like it's there.
if he can get through. If he can get through, I mean, he can.
The port is set up in the right spot for him to come through. I think he has to be pretty close to the yellow guard. Because he can throw this weight at it and come down to the yellow.
Oh, he's not getting past the guard. He's wrecking on his own guard.
He did. So that is a steal of 2 for Newfoundland. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie game. I don't know if you heard me at one point in this, and I said something about how if it happens like this, it happens like that, then it's a whole different ball game or something like that. I think I suggested that the force and 5 followed by a deuce for Prince Edward Island could be a 6-2 lead, but instead we got a 4-4 curling match here.
Well, 1.3, PEI was looking at a steal of 3, which would have broken the game wide open.
Absolutely. That would have changed everything.
Under pressure, Noseworthy got his force, and now a steal of 2, tie game. We got 4 ends. It's also a tie game after 5 between BC and Alberta. Ontario and Alberta in the ladies, 3-2 Ontario. Did I say BC Ontario again? BC Ontario are tied at 5 on the men's side after 5. And on the ladies' side, Ontario, Alberta, 3-2 Ontario. Tied at 3, Quebec and New Brunswick. It's come down to the wire in all 4 games.
Yeah, this is exciting.
The way a semifinal should be.
Mm-hmm.
Also, with the gallery filling up and people down at ice level, the ice will be changing rather quickly now.
Yeah. Okay, so after a nice tight guard from Newfoundland, I can't quite see if it's on the center line or not, but it is not in the rings. Prince Edward Island has followed up with, a draw into the back 12. Not exactly what they're hoping for, I'm sure, but they got one in there, so. Okay, and Newfoundland has opted to maybe bring that right back onto it. No, they're going to just let it settle in there. In the back of the 8, biting the 4. Way out there on this draw, but should come back nicely for them. That weight looks okay. Sweepers are going to back off a little bit, let it work. A little bump, just a little bump.
Not bad, a little more weight than they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking to hit and freeze. After the beginning, got to say the momentum is now with Newfoundland.
It sure feels that way right now. Yeah. Just gonna get by that guard. And again, still touch heavy, but they'll take it.
The Quebec men's team is down at ice level to cheer on the ladies. Nice to see.
Yeah, they are in a position right now to win their way into the final. I was fortunate enough to be present for their game yesterday in the quarterfinal against Alberta. So after losing that one, to see them win last night and then looking like they could win again today.
Well, they just picked up 2 in the 7th, so are up 5-3.
Okay, and Newfoundland is going to have a quick team meeting, it would seem. They want to make the best call possible here. It is crunch time here in the 7th end, so without Hammer, but sitting 2 in the back, all in the back of the house, they do stand to keep the momentum or lose it, depending on this shot. So they would like to keep the pressure on.
The bittersweetness of the back of the house. You're lying too, but you're backing.
Yeah. It's because it can only get worse from there, right? The rock isn't moving in the opposite direction once it's behind that line.
Curling obeys the laws of physics.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about the sport, actually. Just kidding.
Looking like it's going to be a setup for a force.
I mean, yeah, that would be ideal if you're Newfoundland right now.
McDonald for PEI throwing some good weight there. He's looking to take things out.
Yeah. Check this out. Okay.
And away they go.
Away they go, exactly. Now if you're Newfoundland, trying to remove a few of those red rocks is not a bad idea. If you see yours go away and happen to leave 3 behind, this end changes pretty quick. So there's a little light out of his hands. He's lost the line already. They're going to make contact with their own rock instead, but I mean, you should be able to. Oh, you can't hold that one in the back. Oof.
That was a big mistake.
It was just inside, right out of his hand. Either way, inside or light, one or the other. But
they're now going to need a double or manage to keep one of theirs in the rings.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the 2 is coming.
Yeah, this line looks good. If they can hold this, they should be very fortunate with the rock sliding right out the back. There it goes. And this is what I was worried about. So, Newfoundland needs to make a double here.
It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time, no doubt.
The double's there. You see some good weight.
Needs the weight, and he gave it a nice little extra shove.
And it's well-timed. Bragg has been the one that has brought most of the weight.
Okay, he's not making that double, but if they can come and hold that, he should make the one at the back. Yeah, there it is. Couple doubles. Yeah, a double there.
Not the double we wanted, but the double we
The
needed.
double we needed. Yeah. And just a quick update in the game next door, BC Ontario semifinal. BC has gone up by 2 after the 6th, so it is 7-5 in the 7th end. I heard a little rumor that I believe it's BC and Prince Edward Island have both played each other twice and won one game each. So if there's a final between BC and Prince Edward Island today, it's gonna be a doozy.
The rivalry is on.
Coast versus coast.
So it's shaping up to be the end that Noseworthy wants. Right now, PEI is sitting 1. There's no guards, just a bite out of the forefoot.
These are those really fun logic problems as well that you can do during a game if you want or not. But yeah, like entering into the final end with the game close, if the game is tied, there are a lot of questions about whether you want to have hammer, whether you want to be ahead. It's nice having the hammer and being ahead, but sometimes you're in a position like this where you're like, do I want to take a point? Do I want to give them a point?
How do I want to enter the 10th end?
How do I want to enter the 10th end? Exactly. Which in our case today is the 8th end. Yes, as far as I know, we are continuing in the 8 ends games. They did take that break during the 4th end, so that would imply that the halfway point is 4, meaning, hold on, I'm going to do the math real quick. The whole game is 8 ends, yeah. But
the rules blur because you've got the Olympic trials, which have their own set of rules.
Yes, they do.
There's the Grand Slam events going on, which each of them have slightly, although almost identical rules. And then you come to the club level, and again, almost identical, but not quite.
Yes. Nice clean hit. So I would say we are looking at a Prince Edward Island blank, if they can get that far. Dennis Watts only needs to make one more successful shot. Mark Noseworthy is going to make this hit. I think they're going to try for just a nose hit. Yeah, just make sure it doesn't roll out. Make him make this shot. The rules that I would like to be more familiar with is mixed doubles. Someone was asking me about mixed doubles the other day, and all I know is that it's mixed and that there's doubles. But I understand that there are a variety of other rules that go on in that version of curling, such as like starting an end with a rock already in play.
Yeah,
right.
It's pretty much an entirely different game, a different version of curling. Here's Watts with his final one, looking for the blank. Take the hammer into the final end.
Hoping to roll out. The sweeper is sweeping this. But it might get too much curl, and he's not gonna roll out. So this is the scenario. Newfoundland gets the hammer in the final end, and they are down by 1. Are they happy about that? Who knows? But I mean, I think that's a better outcome than the blank. If you're Newfoundland. Prince Edward Island, I think Dennis Watts would have really liked that rock to hold its line and find its way out of the house, but it did not.
I think he'd prefer to require the double to have a deuce, score a deuce, than to have to try and steal one.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so updates from the other games. We'll start with the women's side, and they are playing in the 8th end. Quebec is up 5-3, and it's getting down to it. There's only a few rocks left. It looks like New Brunswick is occupying the house, so they're trying to fight their way back. They've got hammer in the last end. The Ontario-Alberta semifinal on the women's side is still tied at 3, and they are in the 8th end. So Ontario has hammer in that match. And the men's semifinal, the other one, is in the 7th. BC is up 7-5. Ontario has the hammer, and there's still a handful of rocks to go there. So
the Ontario ladies just crashed on the guard and replaced their rock in the house with Alberta's. So we've got some drama. It's a wide open. There are no guards over on sheet E, where New Brunswick's got 2 in the rings. Well, now there's 1 each, and that's going to require a measurement. They're both just on the edge of the 4 foot.
Oh yeah, those are close, eh?
8 foot, I should say.
Okay, so we've had one come right into the rings from Prince Edward Island. Newfoundland puts up a corner guard. As they are not interested in playing for a blank this end, that's for sure. So they're going to leave the red rock in the 12-foot alone. And Dennis Watts calls for Andrew McDougall to guard the rock he just threw. Get out, give this a hand. No.
Ooh.
No, that's okay.
Just fell apart there.
Yeah.
Not making the hog line.
Trying to make sure it's not too heavy often will result in an unfortunate event like hogging the rock. On behalf of leads everywhere, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
No harm, no foul. It's still wide open.
Yeah, and at this point in the end, Newfoundland is playing their own game. So if you're Prince Edward Island, again, I'm not a skip. Everyone at home, don't quote me on this, but I feel like if you're Prince Edward Island, you're trying to thwart Newfoundland right now. So that rock not getting into play isn't that big a deal.
It keeps things open because you want to remove the Newfoundland rocks so they aren't able to score 2.
Yeah, I mean, and if that center line guard was up right now, no, they're just going to put it back. They want to. So I'm going to say his strategy here is that he wants to protect that rock. He wants to eventually have something in play that he can use to outcount the Newfoundland stones.
A flash from Quebec leaves 1 in the rings for Newfoundland. 5-3.
New Brunswick, you're right. Yeah.
New Brunswick.
Yeah, so this is last rock for New Brunswick. They have to draw. They got an open draw for 2 to tie that game up in the semifinal between Quebec and New Brunswick. Wow. So that's a big shot coming up right now. And we had a very unfortunate miss, hey?
Yeah, McDougall, after all those great shots, flashed right through.
Hey.
It happens.
Yeah. Okay, so they're hoping, I'm guessing, just to have this stop at the tee line. So it looks a touch heavy, but I don't think Dennis Watts is going to move it that much. No. And I'll just keep you posted in the women's semifinal between Quebec and New Brunswick. That draw is coming down and should stop nicely in the house. So they have tied that game at 5, and they're going to need to go to an extra end.
Extra end. After all the matches all the games you played to get out of your club, to get out of your city, to get out of the province, to get to the semifinals, it's now down to the last 10 rocks. 8 rocks.
Very narrow miss from PEI. That was
And it goes through
very unfortunate. Yeah.
ticking on the guard.
So it's kind of been 3 misses in a row for them right now. 4, unfortunately, if you include the skippers. No, sorry, I shouldn't say 4 because he made that nice draw into the 12-foot. But things are not heading in their direction right now for Prince Edward Island.
It's been a complete reversal throughout the game.
Newfoundland looks to be putting another one, I'd say, in the rings, or at least guarding the one that they have in the 12. This has a lot of weight. But that'll do. That'll pull up right in there, and Newfoundland is sitting 3 right now, Bruce.
They are, but everything's wide open. They've got one behind the guard, but that's on the edge of the 8. So,
okay, so in the men's semifinal, we have the final stone right now from Ontario, looking to take out a rock in the 4-foot and stick around or a double. My God, they made a double for 2, and they have tied it up. So Ontario, BC, 7-7 heading into the final end. Not unlike our own game. These have been excellent matchups all around here.
Also, Ontario, Alberta, ladies, going into the 8th end tied. Quebec, the women's side also, Quebec and New Brunswick into an extra end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually the Ontario-Alberta semifinal, they are down to the skip stones. It looks like, Ontario with the red has last rock. So it is 3-3. Alberta is counting 1 right now. But like I said, Ontario has last rock. So Newfoundland looks to just be peeling this guard. Even makes contact with the one in the house. So they've opened their center up a little bit. Not entirely, but they've at least got a little bit of roll out of theirs. Okay, Prince Edward Island has made it around this guard, and they're hoping to just carry that right into the 12-foot. A bit of over curl for them, but I think they just needed that to be in. They just needed to have it. Yeah, because as we can see here, Mark Noseworthy doesn't like that guard anymore. He keeps checking this out. I don't know what he's got planned here, but he might. Yeah, he's going to bring the crew down. I think he's going to ask them if they want to try a run back. He's really turning the screws here.
The goal is 2 right now.
Yeah.
And that is a viable option.
Right, he's got 3 rocks counting right now. And if he can just keep Prince Edward Island from out-counting one of them and leave that line open for his draw at the end, there's your deuce. In the very least, he needs to score 1 to force an extra end.
There's room to come around all the guards. So do you be thinking about putting up another guard, or would you be coming in or the takeout to try and avoid them coming around?
Oh, and he missed it. He missed it. Okay, so Dennis Watts holds his fate in his hands here. Things were the momentum was in Newfoundland's favor for a long time.
And
But
it changes quickly.
At this moment, yeah, he can take control of this. Just to let everybody know, the women's semifinal between Ontario and Alberta has come down to not the last rock necessarily, but the rock that was just thrown. Alberta needed to out-count Ontario's stone in the 8-foot, and the draw came up short, questionably short. It might not have come up short, and no one's really sure. So if it was totally short, Ontario wouldn't even need to throw this rock. But I think they've decided that they will. And they're just going to try to make sure that it doesn't come down to a measurement that doesn't go in their favor. So Prince Edward Island has brought in a very, very nice draw. It's undercover. It is the shot rock.
And it is very deep. They're looking at the raise.
So this is a difficult shot. I'm not gonna lie. This is the guard is nice and high, but it did move off of that line. And it's interesting because he really needed to remove that guard. And he missed it only by a hair last shot. So
The difficulty
now we know why.
with this shot is you don't have the angle to easily remove them both. So you want to try and
You
control.
can come across the face of the one that's in the 4-foot and still get them both to go. But you got to get by this guard first, and he did. He sure did, and he got it. And can he bring that out? Very nice shot. Wonderful shot from Mark Noseworthy out of the St. John's Curling Club in St. John's, Newfoundland. That was amazing.
I'll give him that second.
Yeah.
That's the second best shot of the game.
Yeah, we'll give that one the second best shot of the game. Hard to argue with that.
There's no doubt about who's skip.
Yeah.
Mark Noseworthy has really come to play after the third inning. And
Yeah, and
stuck
then
on baseball.
again, we've got that game down on sheet D. The semifinal, tied at 3 between Ontario and Alberta, has come down to a measurement. So we'll see if the sweepers from Alberta gave it just enough. But that's going to decide who goes to the final and who goes to the bronze medal.
It doesn't get any closer than that. A
No,
measurement on
no.
the last rock.
Okay, and Prince Edward Island is, it's just got to be there. That's the simplest thing, is that it's a little heavy right now. And this is where you're hoping that it stops. But I'm going to tell you, folks, that one ain't stopping.
That's the game.
So Newfoundland wins in a stunning comeback victory. Congratulations to Mark Noseworthy, Steve Bragg, Andrew Manuel, and John Shepard on an absolutely epic comeback. And good luck in the final, boys.
And of course, congratulations to Dennis Watts, Eric Broderson, Shane McDonald, and Andrew McDougall from the Cornwall Curling Club and PEI. That was well played, and it was a great game. But Mark Noseworthy,
If you hear the cheers, that was Ontario winning the measurement in the semifinal between Ontario and Alberta. So that's it for Sheet B, folks. There is still a handful of game going on Sheet C between BC and Ontario to determine who will face Newfoundland and Labrador in the final this afternoon at 3 in the gold medal game, and who will be facing Prince Edward Island at 3 p.m. in the bronze medal game. So you can tune over to that on the Granite Curling Club YouTube channel live stream. There won't be anybody calling the game, but you'll be able to see it on your own. It's pretty self-explanatory at this point what's happening. And there is still that last final going on in the extra end between Quebec and New Brunswick. It is 5-5 in the 9th. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. have a great day, and
Thanks for having me, Sean.
Thank you, Bruce. Yeah.
It was great. It's always great to get out to the club and just watch if you're not playing.
absolutely. I think we should revisit our idea that maybe Winnipeg needs like a curling broadcast,
Winnipeg
daily, weekly, seasonally. I don't know.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
We need to get in there. This is the epicenter of curling. It's part of the community. There's far more to it than just the game. There is so much more. There's the camaraderie and the fellowship in the community centers, and these are the pillars of your community. They're still locally owned and operated. There is no big time.
There's no big
naming
curling.
sponsors.
Yeah.
The gambling, the sports books, as they call it, have not infected curling yet. We're not brought to you by anybody other than
That long list of sponsors that we mentioned.
community-minded sponsors like the City of Winnipeg, Curling Manitoba, Asham, Winnipeg Economic Development, Sherry Rollins, Manitoba. What's it? Oh,
Tourism.
Manitoba Tourism. I have to keep reading for their slogan. Canada's Heart is Calling is the new one. Manitoba Turkey, Turnbull Whitaker, Cambrian Credit Union, Maxilo Winnipeg, Boston Pizza, MLT Aikens, Curling Canada, of course, GFL, Johnson Group, Onside Restoration, and Torque Brewing.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great day.